And welcome everybody once again to the fantastic Fabio Fabio and Funk show to do the 2023 Formula One World Championship Round 20 from Mexico. I was expecting applause there. I don't know why that didn't happen. Never mind.
Somebody's on coffee.
Damn, you've given my secret away already.
Yeah, right.
I've had 2 coffees today. The first coffees I've had in about 6 months. It's because I had a curry last night and I had a bit of curry left over. Always like a bit of a coffee after a curry, you know. So that's what I did. I had some Colombian coffee, because to celebrate being in Mexico. Because as we all know, as Helmut Marko knows at least anyway, Colombia is exactly in the same continent as Mexico. Don't know if you were aware of that.
Yeah.
Mexicans are from South America, apparently. Yeah, and that's where my coffee is. Say again, Lucky.
Those well-known Mexican South Americans.
That's right, yes. You know, they find it difficult to concentrate, which is amazing considering the amount of coffee that there is around. So, there you go. There's something to ponder.
Yeah.
Ponder.
I think you're forgetting about the cocaine as well.
I'm sure it's the coffee. I'm super sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of nothing else. Has to be the coffee.
And Bob Elvis is joining me on this coffee exuberante wild trip that I'm on anyway, because it's like a trip for me. Welcome Tux as well. Welcome Bob, welcome Tux. Thank you very much. Good evening, he says to everybody. Okay, they don't like you. Sorry, Bob, they don't like you.
Yeah.
Yes, South Africa won the World Rugby Cup. They did.
Yeah, they did.
And they didn't pay for it this time.
Who did they beat?
Which is another thing.
Who did South Africa beat?
New Zealand.
Yeah, Kiwis, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a great game, but there you go.
It was.
Would have been better if it had been against the old foe, England. You know.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, well, I mean, we're going to talk about rugby because I got some.
We can do.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we can do. I don't think we should because, of course, in reality, it was Halloween, right? So, as a special tribute, can you spot the odd one out in these 3?
Yeah. I mean, Ricciardo. He hasn't got the right outfit.
Well spotted.
No. I'm going with the guy on the left because he hasn't got a contract for Red Bull next year. What does the other 2 do? Allegedly.
I thought I'd just throw that in. Yeah, when you see what I did here, I was a bit clever, guys. I don't know if you noticed that, but got the odd one out. You see, out being the out in very loud letters, and of course we all know who is out of Red Bull next year, or is he? I heard a rumor today that maybe Alonso was going to Red Bull. But then I also heard Alonso was going to be Victoria's Secret next big model. So who knows what about rumors, right?
No, I think you're mistaking that for Kelly Piquet. She's got a job as a lingerie model. Plus, she's going to be driving for Red Bull because she'll do a better job than Perez ever did.
That's true. That is true. And what can we say about that? Well, there are many things we could say about that. Go ahead, Fabio.
Well, we've got an hour.
No, I don't know if Kelly Piquet can drive stick, but yeah.
Yeah, no, she's used to having something hard and throbbing between her hands, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there we go. We shall move on.
What could you mean?
Yes.
What did you mean there?
I just meant Max has got a bit of a dick.
Oh. Right,
That's what I meant by that. He's a bit of a dick, and he's got a dick. So there you go. Anyway, there we go. And fortunately, it's a white dick as well, which obviously Kelly is very fond of.
Come on, jeez.
I'm just saying. I don't think there's anything controversial about that. Surely, it's Max. right? He comes anyway.
No, the thing is that at the end of every show, we wonder, how did we not manage to keep it under 1 hour? It's been 6 minutes. We've been talking about, Verstappen's dick. So, come on.
Yes. Okay.
Focus.
Well, anyway, I heard a rumor. Might have been Alonso. Alonso may be leaving Aston Martin, and as such, he would be a prime target for someone like Christian Horner. However, as you can see by the spotting the odd one out, I think the other two actually look quite fine together. Very similar heights. That's good for the car. And of course, as we know from this weekend's race, Ricardo, that is Daniela, as I'm going to be calling him in next year if he does join to become Max's partner, is well. There you go. Daniel did remarkably well in this Grand Prix. In fact, he out-qualified Perez, which is something, even though he's in the sister team, and that and Yuki was nowhere to be seen. Very strange that suddenly started happening. And
I know. There was a reason why Yuki wasn't there. To be fair.
Oh yeah. What was that?
It changed some elements of the power unit, so they knew already was going to be penalized. That's the reason why he told Ricciardo, in Q2 and Q3.
I see. Okay, that's very decent of him. I have to say that is very decent of him. I wonder whether Max would do that for Perez.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, obviously not, because he was behind Ricciardo. Anyway, what actually happened in qualifying was that the Ferraris did incredibly well. Something just came alight in the last in Q3, and they went from nowhere to the front of the grid. And Max was under pressure. He felt under pressure, obviously, and like I've been saying for some time, that's his weakness. And he made a mistake on the last lap on his final qualifying run, and couldn't basically wore out his tyres too soon, ran the lap, and didn't have anything for the third sector, which left Leclerc in first place in the Ferrari, of course, and Sainz in second place in the Ferrari. Max in third place. Ricciardo in the other Red Bull. Sorry, no, it's not. I got ahead of myself there. I thought it was 2024. Ricciardo in the AlphaTauri in fourth place, and then and he also ran Perez behind that. So that was to be quite interesting because, of course, the left side of the track, positions 1, 3, and 5. Had the clean side of the track, and they all, of course, as usual, got away very well. Going down to turn 1, Ferrari's off the line okay. Leclerc bogged down a little bit, and I think that was a big problem. Max got off to a cracking start. Perez an even better start behind it. Max was through the middle of the two Ferraris before they could even get together to stop him getting by. And that, of course, left him on the inside into turn 1. Then on the outside comes Perez, hooning like an absolute lunatic around the outside. I say lunatic like I'm referring to him like he's Lewis Hamilton or something. And he came around the outside and was punted off by Leclerc, who unfortunately suffered some major wing damage, which actually made his car perform better. Go figure. You could not write this script for this race. Anyway, so that's basically what happened. Perez out in the first corner. All that anticipation, all that climax that was denied to us because Perez was out in turn 1. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton getting through, keeping Ricciardo behind him. Eventually down into turn 5. And then, of course, the red flag comes out. Not the red flag, the yellow flag comes out. And everybody... Was there a yellow flag? I'm not even sure there was, Fabio. I've gone a bit coffee-like.
Yeah, no.
Gone a bit...
There was actually a red flag.
There was a red flag. I thought there was a red flag. Was
Yeah,
it? No, that was when Magnussen. That was when Magnussen crashed.
the rear suspension of the Haas just
Yeah,
broke down. It opened up and it crashed
I'm
into the
in
wall.
turn one
Yeah.
still. I don't know about you. I think you're trying to rush me through the Grand Prix to get it over with, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, lap 8 comes round. Magnussen, a fair fight with Yuki. Yuki going off the circuit. He was struggling all day with that car, the other AlphaTauri. In fact, there was a major battle between Haas and thing, and also runs the McLarens had a major battles. Lewis eventually getting by, or I should say, um, Norris eventually. Chuck Norris, I'm going to call him this time because he did so well and was very brave with some of his overtakes getting by. Eventually, lap 31 comes around, time for the stops. Leclerc in, and then Norris getting by Albon, really coming through the field very well considering. And if anything, it was the driver of the day, to be fair, and he did get driver of the day as well. So that proves that point, I feel. Magnus being an absolute hooligan as well, throwing the car left, right, and centre. Sainz, Leclerc into the pit, as I say, lap 32, and then Magnussen straight after that, 30 on lap 33, wrecks his car. Something happened to the back of his car. I think the technical term is he fucked it over one of the curbs. And what can we say? Skidded off into the barrier, and that led to a red flag, really destroying any tactics Leclerc had tried to get the undercut with. So that was enough for Leclerc, really, and that was to really influence the race as well. Magnussen was okay, everybody, he was all right. They eventually restarted, lap 36 restart, and again, same ooning around into the first corner. Lewis trying to get Leclerc, didn't manage to. Sainz coming up in fourth place. And then I think it was Stroll, was it? No, it couldn't have been Stroll, surely not.
No.
No, Russell. It was Russell,
Yeah.
of course. Russell and Ricardo go having a ding-dong. Russell getting the better of that. Piastri behind, a quiet day for him. And Tsunoda behind him in 8th, Albon 9th, who also drove a good race to come through the field and score some points, with Norris collecting as many places as he could along the way. Norris, again, driver of the day, little bit of contact getting past people, but nonetheless, it was some great overtakes. I say a little bit of contact. He did punt Tsunoda off. So when I say a little bit of contact, that was quite a lot. Again, Tsunoda trying to go around the outside of turn 1, very much a Perez type move. And funnily enough, it didn't work for Tsunoda.
Yeah.
I don't know, a lunatic. And then Norris caught up with Piastri with team orders, managed to get by, or was let by, and then managed to catch up with Ricardo, who put up a stout defence, but couldn't handle anything that Norris had to throw at him. In fact, it did get a little physical, but nonetheless, he came through. Then it was onto the back of Russell, and again, swiftly dealt with. Chuck Norris getting dealt with. And then Bottas had a bit of a coming together with the Strollmeister. Let's rock and stroll. And he did, off the track. But anyway, there we go. And that left Verstappen in first place. Hamilton to claim a fantastic second place. Everybody was very happy. Leclerc in third place. Sainz fourth. Chuck Norris in fifth place. George Russell, or Kurt Russell. I don't know. George Russell. Daniel Ricciardo, 7th place, fantastic. Piastri in 8th place. Albon in 9th place. And Frenchman in 10th place, if I could be a little more racist than that, I don't know. But I'm going to try. So there we go. That was the top 10. And like conspicuous by his absence, as I said, the talking point of the Grand Prix, Perez out in turn 1. And funnily enough, Christian Horner actually quoted afterwards as saying that was probably the best 400 meters of his career. 800 meters, sorry. But best 800 meters of Perez's career. So obviously Christian very happy with the outcome there. There we go. That was the race. Lewis Hamilton closes up by a shitload to second place on Perez. It's now just 20 points between the two. Max Verstappen extends his lead to 491 and to 240 in second place to Perez. So that is over twice the number of points that Perez has got in the same car. And Norris coming up fast on the outside on Alonso, who looks like he can't hold on to that place. Just how many points between the two? 14 points between the two. So it looks like Norris is going to get fifth place. And there we go. Carlos Sainz, of course, remaining in fourth place. And that was the Mexican Grand Prix. A very scary event in all, especially if you were in South America. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, Anne. So it's over to you, Fabio.
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting race. Starting from the qualifying, I was super worried about the qualifying, and actually I was super worried about the Ferrari performing well, and I'll get to that a bit later. The race, the start was, well, Perez said there was a place. He saw a place. He saw a spot. I don't know what the fuck he saw.
A gap,
but,
yeah.
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 But basically, he did what Hamilton did to Russell, in Qatar. Or, the other way around. He turned like Leclerc wasn't even there. And Leclerc couldn't possibly disappear. He was literally sandwiched between the cars. So, yeah. Tough shit for Perez. Is the only way he can get back at doing something is if he steps out of Red Bull, because he's not there with the head. I mean, you can totally see that. Anyway, back to the race. Verstappen was lucky again. I mean, it goes without saying that when everything goes well, it keeps going better. Meaning that Leclerc stopped for pit one lap before that they put the red flag out. Again, what the fuck you can do? That happens. There were a couple of interesting things. I mean, the Aston Martin is gone. I mean, that car is fucked. It started the season being like the second or third, powerhouse on the grid, and it's now like the sixth or seventh. Both the cars didn't even finish. Albon, nice race. Ricciardo, fantastic. I think he raced a very good race. Who else? Hamilton put up a really good show, especially at the restart. He knew that he had to pass Leclerc fast. That's the kind of track where if you stay too much behind, you cook the engine, you cook the tires. Heating was a very big problem for the cars this weekend, and he managed to do that. The thing that Russell didn't manage to do, and actually I think he ruined his race by not being able to overtake Sainz. Of course, he learned something from Hamilton, which is whining. So I don't know who whined more, if it was Hamilton or Russell. Hamilton, of course, was whining about the tires.
I can't believe you said that. I can't believe.
And then
Why would you say that?
At the end
That's
of the
not
lap,
fair.
he made the
It's just
fastest
not
lap.
fair that you say that, though.
It is super fair.
It's not fair.
It is.
Come
it is.
on. Like, I mean,
The-
when do British
the other
people
thing
ever
which-
whine? We don't whine. we know we don't whine about anything. It's not fair.
Oh, the ambulance is really powerful in the Mercedes camp. The other thing which was really puzzling to me was the fact that Ferrari went with the R tires at the end. And the reason why I was so puzzled is that in the first stint with the medium tires and a broken wing, Leclerc was faster than Sainz and only slightly slower than Verstappen. He could actually keep a very good pace. And they decided to go for the last stint with the R tires. That boggles my mind. I don't know why. They made 34 laps, I think, with a full car, 100 kilograms of fuel. They could have surely made 36 laps with a car which had like 50 kilograms of fuel, really lighter. So I don't know. The thing which is worrying about Ferrari is the fact that it turned out that they didn't know, they haven't figured out why the car was so slower with the R tires. And that goes back to the comment I made at the beginning after the qualifying. I was really worried about the Ferrari being so fast because, again, they didn't know why the car was so fast. Which is as worrying as not knowing why the car is so slow. The Ferrari is a very, very, very peaky car. It works really well if everything aligns, and it has to align perfectly. If something is not in the right spot, it just doesn't perform well. So yeah, that would be my biggest complaint about the old race. Other than that, yeah, I mean, you said Norris, fantastic race. I think Ricciardo was superior. Not as much in the overall performance, but just the fact that he was coming back from a really bad weekend, after a very bad crash. So I think that he really outperformed the car. So yeah, I was very happy to see him doing that. Other drivers, I don't know. Bottas tried, but he was shit as always. Yeah, that's pretty much the race.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Now I'd like to. Yep, I'll get that ready for you straight away.
No rush.
Okay, basically I'd like to hand it over now to Lucky. Oh, let me just change the banners. There we go. Special guest host. I'd like to hand it over to Lucky for his reportage. Sergeant Logan Sergeant. Over to you, Lucky.
Well, unfortunately, after this one, there's only another 2 reportages de Logan Sergeant to go. So make the most of them while you can. Another disastrous weekend for Logan. Funny enough, in the results, it actually shows him as a DNF in qualifying. Now, how do you DNF qualifying? That doesn't seem to work, but Logan managed it. Anyway, it was no time set in qualifying for Logan, and 16th in the race. Also qualifying as the DNF, which is strange because he was only 1 lap behind the leaders, and I think he was still running. Who knows? It's the FIA. So anyway, we've only got 2 more races left, and Logan's going to be gone. Thank fuck. Right, the picture that I asked you to
okay,
show.
Yep.
Show it. Chris said that he took a risk, and he paid a high price with his maneuver on Sunday. And I would say he's about 6 feet high there. What do you reckon?
So, say the question again. I was reading chat.
He said that he paid a high price for his move on
very high
Sunday.
price.
And I'm thinking he's about 6 foot in the air there. That's how high his price was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Newey is a great designer. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he designed the car to actually fly like that.
Yeah, I think he needs a bit more wing on the back to
Mm.
hold it down a little.
More rear downforce. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, um, it looks like Perez is another one with maybe perhaps just two more Grand Prix left. As you said, Ricardo just did everything better than him this weekend, didn't he?
He did.
And he's the man that's going to be most likely taking the spot. So anyway, what else? It was a completely dull race, wasn't it? I'm struggling to give my drive of the day to either Hamilton or Leclerc. Hamilton for just putting on a good show and putting a bit of effort into it, and Leclerc for managing to stay in second place with half of his wing missing. I mean, he did well, stayed ahead of his teammate. He did a pretty good job, I think, over the weekend.
Yeah, it didn't seem to do much, that damage to his front wing, did it? It didn't really
that's,
slow him
that's
down. When he
yeah,
radioed
that's not.
into the pits, they said, yeah, that'll be me breathing. Sorry, I apologise for breathing. Yeah, so he didn't really do much when he telephoned into the pit. When he radioed into the pits, of course they said, "Oh, my front wing's damaged." They say, "Yes, stay out, because we can't see any difference." I don't know. Beggars belief, really. I'm sure Fabio will have a good excuse for that.
Well, I think that Ferrari's front wing designer might be sitting in the office this morning, being asked what the hell's going on with his front wing. That makes no difference when half of it's missing.
No, I mean he lost something like 5 to 10 points of downforce. I mean it wasn't that much, so it wasn't something crucial. Yeah, I
I
mean the
think he did
performance.
well.
Sorry.
I think he did a good job, Leclerc, this weekend. What else have we got to speak about? Lando Norris. Once they get that car sorted, I think Lando Norris is going to be a really competitive driver. Let's just hope McLaren can do something for next year. Because it's a shame to see a lad with his talent, who's as nice a person as he is, not getting the results he deserves. I haven't been a driver fan in F1 since Damon Hill was on the go, but I like Lando Norris, and I think he perhaps deserves a better lot in Formula One. The Haas crash, Martin Brundle immediately blamed it on the rear suspension, going, whatever happened, that was a real smack into the wall with that car, and it was nice to see what's his name, Hulkenberg, walking out of it, but you could see that he'd taken a really hard.
Magnussen.
Sorry, yeah, that's Magnussen. Suck my balls, Magnussen. He took a really hard hit, and you could see that when he was sitting on the tire barrier afterwards, that he'd been shaken up a little. So Haas are going to need to do some investigations into why the car did that. But it's like I said, it's nice to see that he actually walked away from it without any injuries.
Yeah, he said his hand hurt a little after the crash.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a bit of a, worry, because that is obviously a very delicate bone, as Ricardo found out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so who else have we covered? There wasn't really much to go to. The other person I was going to speak about was, who was it? Ferrari. Ferrari are starting to pick things up, I think. Let's hope that Ferrari, by the end of the year, can actually win a Grand Prix, because I think we need to see Ferrari back on the you don't think so, Fab?
No. For the reason I said before, they have no idea why they went bad, and they have no idea why they went good, which is super worrying. That's the gist of it. So yeah.
Well, the biggest disappointment I think this weekend was Aston Martin. two DNFs. It was like they completely lost their way this weekend. As far as things are going. In fact,
I don't think it's just this weekend. Actually.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's been quite some time.
Since Great Britain, really.
Yeah.
yeah, last weekend as
I
well.
mean, Alonso's had eight poles this season, and it was
Oh.
about race 9 that it all fucked up for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, talking about polls. Sorry, Lucky, I don't want to interrupt you.
Sorry,
so-
podium. I meant podium, not poles.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want Lucky to finish, but there is something interesting about polls. Even if you meant podiums, there is something interesting about polls. But yeah, carry on.
You're talking about Kubica.
No.
Kubica?
I'm talking about Senna.
Yes. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Lucky.
carry
Sorry.
on, Lucky. Just finish your stint.
There's
And
really not much. There's really not much else to talk about, is there? 'Cause, I mean, it was a dull race as far as action on the track went.
Yeah,
Um,
that is true. That is true.
Aston Martin, that was what else was wrong with it? No, I think that's about it. To be honest with you.
What about the
else can we
French
talk
guys?
about?
What happened to those? Oui.
Well, Logan. We've had
No,
Logan.
no, I actually meant the real French guys. Comment?
Ocon made a fantastic radio message. Said, tell the ass I'm coming. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Tell the
but
guy in one of the
Really
worst seats on the
ballsy,
grid.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I was
but-
going to say, sorry, if you finish, Lucky.
yeah, go ahead. There you go.
So the question from Bob Elvis is asking if high altitude and low air pressure has something to do with the surprising performance for some teams. I think that the biggest problem, my understanding, the biggest problem that the teams face is not so much the high altitude and low air pressure, because with turbo engines and even more, with hybrid engines, that's something, from the power unit is something you can manage. So of course there are some degradation in the performances, but it's the same for everybody. And as far as the downforce and stuff like that, you just adjust. I think that the biggest problem was heat dispersion. All the cars had massive slots cut in the cars, and actually from what I read, from what I listened, one of the reasons why the Alpha Tauri was performing so good was that they found a good compromise, so that they didn't need to open too many gaps compared to other teams. So they were able to keep the slipstream of the car way more consistent than the other teams. But yeah, the biggest problem was heat dispersion, both from the tires and the power unit. You could see on the straight, even Hamilton, when he couldn't pass Leclerc at the beginning, he just made 2 or 3 laps, and he was on the straight. He was getting out of the slipstream just to get to cool everything down, and then eventually he just lunged forward. No, the thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, before I forget, the thing that I remember, it was about the poles.
Could I just address the brakes before you?
Yes.
Because not the heating problem. Okay, so afterwards, Mercedes said, or Lewis said actually, that their main problem was brake temperature, and the brakes were overheating quite dramatically. And even though they've got the widest air cooling on the brakes that the Mercedes can have, their brakes were still overheating. And the problem was that every time they would slow down to not use the brakes so much, so to speak, the tires would then cool off too much. So they couldn't get a balance between having the right brake temperature and the right tire temperature. And that was a major problem for them. because then the degradation on the tires was getting quite out of hand. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, you're right. I mean, the other point is that it's not only that; it's the fact that when we're actually running, even the temperature of the tires, they were ramping up faster than usual. So it was really easy. It was really difficult to actually get out and make a good adjustment lap, for the tires in order for them to eat properly, because they were overheating because of the brakes and all, everything else. So it was quite a mess. So yeah, no, but sorry about the podiums. Leclerc, as I think, has got 22 poles, if I'm not corrected.
Leclerc, I don't know how many.
I think he's got 22.
Okay.
And I saw an interesting statistics, because one biggest problem for Leclerc is that he's made a good amount of podiums that they didn't translate in victories.
Yeah.
The which is super worrying,
Well, it's
the,
been the
well,
Ferrari way for some years now.
Well, but I mean, usually if you make the pole, you then eventually winning. I mean that it's a good
Metric,
How
yeah.
can I say? Yeah. So that is something which is really worrying. The only thing which really, well, I wouldn't say made me happy, but didn't make me as sad, was I looked at the statistics from Senna. And in the first 22 polls that Senna made, he basically had the same ratio of victories as Leclerc. So, I mean,
There you go. Can't be all
it's
that bad, surely.
it's swings and roundabouts. There,
Yeah.
there must be something over there. I don't know, but yeah, I just want to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's we've had this period of domination from one team now for I don't know, maybe 15 years going on now, maybe more. First we had, we've had Red Bull for the last 3. Before that, it was 7 years of 8 years of Mercedes, and then before that, it was another 4 years of Red Bull. Right, so I mean, we've had this one team domination now for so long. It's almost inconceivable to go back to the days where it was like Alonso in the Ferrari,
Yeah.
right, finishing second in the championship for
Right.
how long? It's very close to winning it so many times, like 3 times. I feel that we were looking back at those times now. We were kind of spoilt a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, even though Ferrari didn't manage to win it, they were always very close, and that we haven't had simply for nearly 15 years now. So, yeah, it's disappointing. Again, it's disappointing. We were hoping, weren't we, with the rules staying the same and having some consistency, that the other teams would catch up, and especially with Red Bull getting penalised so heavily as they were. And I mean, they were very heavily penalised, as you can remember, Fabio.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think they this year they can't have cheddar in the sandwiches.
They can't have cheddar, did you say?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because it was all a catering problem, So they, their catering now is shit. So they're eating like animals.
Oh,
from
the
troughs.
catering, yes, of
Yeah.
course, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
If
they
you
haven't
could
got
just carry
plates.
on talking for me until I can find the right thing.
Yeah, they haven't got plates. They got troughs in the Red Bull hospitality because they got to. Yeah. Oh, the old problem was catering. They didn't do nothing wrong. So yeah, I mean there was that. And actually, I think this is one of the reasons why Perez is performing so bad, because he's not eating. They haven't got tacos anymore. They had to get rid of all the food which doesn't come from the UK. They used to have sushi and Mexican and whatever. Now it's all British food, And the only one which can appreciate that, of course, is Max Verstappen, because in the Netherlands they eat like shit. So it's like being home. It's like eating every time at his mama. It's they yeah. So there you go.
Listen, when you get the munchies, you can eat anything.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I
Right,
don't know.
and of course, that's typical. I can't find the damn thing I was looking for.
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. Yeah, Lucky, anything you'd like to add to all of that?
No, I'm desperately trying to think of something exciting to talk about that happened this weekend, but there wasn't really, was there? I mean,
Oh,
No,
there is the.
well,
I mean, there is the old Andretti thing going on, in the background. Of
yeah, that's
F1.
not the race.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Talk about that, guys. Go on.
Well, I mean, Andretti apparently, well, I would say won, but they passed one stage of being admitted in the F1 grid.
Nice.
And so Andretti has a big project of getting F1, I think in 2026, when some rules are going to change, especially on the power unit with GM. And everybody is against that. All the teams are against that, because if another team steps in, the old money cake is going to be smaller, for the old teams. They're going to get less money if there is more teams to share the total amount of money. So all the teams are against that. There is a big arm wrestling between the FIA and the FOCA, the constructors, and so yeah, there is that. But it seems to me that going forward. So yeah, I just hope somebody else steps in the arena with a new project, completely new project. Not like the Audi, which is going to race with the Sauber structure. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for the sport, to have new blood, new people. Even if I'm not expecting, great things. But yeah, it's always good to see some new faces, in the paddock.
Just for anybody who doesn't know, what Fabio is talking about is the Mario Michael Andretti team that are desperate to break into Formula One, but have been given the cold shoulder due for money reasons, as Fabio has said, but are desperately trying hard still to get into Formula One. And I would say good luck to them. As Fabio said, we need new blood.
Well, so far they're making all the right steps. There is a procedure in order to be accepted in the F1, and right now they passed the steps that were required by a new team, which and that's the reason why now everybody is making a big voice and a big fuss about it, because they're actually getting there. They are in the process, and they're doing all the right steps toward getting there, and they pass some preliminary steps in the old process, but they're getting there. It's not just like some crazy guy with a dubious beverage trying to get into F1. So.
Oh, hang on a minute.
What confuses me is that this is going to be an American team. They're going to bring money to Formula One. They're going to be bringing
yes.
Reds. They're going to be bringing money to F1, which is going to increase the prize money. And the revenue money.
No, because the money, basically, when you talk about money in F1, what you really talk about is the TV rights. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
if you've got an American team,
you're
going to want more.
No. Listen to me. You sell the championship for X amount of money. and you sell the championship, period. If you have 2 teams racing the championship, they split the money. If you have 10 teams, they split in 10, and they got 11, they split by 11. But it's the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're increasing your audience. The more people you get coming to your theater to see your show, the more money you get. So it equals out. And you're bringing in an American
because
team. There's an American team coming into a sport that has got absolutely no Americans in it.
No, the television rights, they don't work like that. Well, first of all, television rights are sold.
They do. They do.
What?
The more people that want to pay for the television rights, the more money you'll make.
Okay, so television rights has already been sold for I don't know how many years. So that's the money they're gonna get. Stop.
Yeah, you can still, somebody can come along, another broadcaster can come along and
say, because listen, if
hang on. Let me cut through that. Okay, so if there's more people watching, right? The TV people make more money.
Yeah.
They still pay exactly the same amount for the rights that they paid. That they agreed to pay.
Well, no, they'll pay.
That's a fixed number. So it doesn't matter how many people are watching. The FIA, or rather, I should say, Liberty Media, are going to get paid exactly the same amount of money.
Right.
And that money is already distributed between 10 teams. But it's, again, it's not even that money's distributed. That money is given as the prize money. And that's another fixed amount of money again. So those 2 figures are fixed. And the only thing that can change is that the TV companies can make more money. And what normally happens is that, the FIA or Liberty Media, the Formula One Corporation, as it is, will make their money from fixing the TV in the advance in the TV rights in advance. That's how they do it. So they know that they can afford the payments at the end of the year. And then, of course, the variable for them is the booking the circuits, because the circuits have to pay through the nose to get Formula One races.
Right.
And that's the kind of where they make their a little bit extra, if you like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lucky.
If you've got an American team, you can charge more for the Americans for the TV rights because the Americans will want to see it. Simple as that.
Well, not next year, but maybe the year after or the year after.
Lucky, so Lucky, sorry. So ESPN and Sky and the BBC and the Germans, whatever, they already bought the rights for F1 up until from now to 10 years. And they already paid that. They already went through, they already told you, okay, this is the amount of money that you need to get the rights in your country or, for Sky or whatever. So that money is that money. Stop.
Right.
So if you sell so let's say, for example, that you are ESPN and you want to buy, and you buy the rights for 10 years, and I am the Liberty Media, say, okay, each year is going to be $2 million. And you say, okay, I want to 10 years, so you're paying $20 million. And you have the rights for 10 years. It doesn't matter how many teams they're racing. You already paid in advance for 10 years. Now, that money is going to be split between the teams. And if this season you have 10 teams and next season you have 20 teams, the money is still the same, because you're not going to resell the rights to somebody which already paid for them for 10 years.
Okay, but the thing is, Sky have got the rights for 10 years at the moment. ESPN have maybe got 2 years left on their contract. Canadian broadcast have maybe got 7 years. So you've got a change. It's changing all the time. All the time it's changing. So you can start making money with 22 cars from whoever you sell the rights to when their contract comes up. It doesn't have to just be ESPN or Sky. There's all the other countries as well. And not all the contracts start and finish at the same time.
They already bought the rights. That's the thing. and teams
Wait, who's
listen,
they?
teams like Williams, Alpha Tauri, I don't know, I mean, you named it. I mean, the minor Haas, those teams, they rely on the money which is coming from the points. If you have another team which can, let's say for example that at the end of the season Haas makes 10 points, it's a lot of money. But if there is another team which can get 2 points out of them, it's a massive amount of money for them that they lose. And there are teams like us, like Williams, that they're really driving on the brink. They need all the money that they get, all the money.
Well, no, they don't. They only need 205 million. That's the cost cap.
I mean, Haas almost went out of business last 2 years ago because they had no results. So there are some teams that they really, really rely on that money, and it's really precious. But again, it's not only the minor team because of the cost cap. Now it's also the top team. So
Okay,
yeah,
let's say in 5 years, okay, the contract for Sky to show F1 is over. Okay, Sky doesn't automatically get that contract renewed.
No, of course not. Of course
Another
not. It
broadcaster
can go
can
up
come in.
then, yes.
yeah.
Another broadcaster can come in who's maybe an American broadcaster who
Yep.
wants to pay extra
Correct.
more than Sky moves. Sky moves.
Yeah.
Sky to pay to see. So you've increased your earnings from TV
Yes.
rights by bringing in another team.
Correct. Yeah.
So
That's
it
right,
will
that's right.
it will benefit in the long run. And
In the long
it
run,
might not happen
yes.
the first year or the second year, but
Right.
as
Yeah.
all the companies come into their new contracts.
No. The companies which will be there in 5 years. I'm telling you that there are teams like Williams, Haas, Alpine, those teams, they might not survive. They might not make it. Because instead of getting $10 million, they get five.
Yeah, I think
They're fucked.
we've covered that, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about
Can we get
The
back to
issue-
abusing Perez?
sorry.
Can we not get back to abusing Perez?
We can. But I just want to talk about this, which is to say, no, I've forgotten what it is now because Perez was mentioned. Look, Aston Martin, for instance, they might be selling, right? So, I remember what it is now. So, look, one of the reasons that the teams want to reject Andretti, all right, I feel, personal opinion coming up, people, probably wrong, is that they want to reject the agreement that they had previously made, which is to accept teams in with a stipulated price of 200 million to go to the prize fund for the teams in order to compensate for the dissolution or the dilution of the money amongst 11 teams over 10. And that was to be 200 million. And they'd already agreed this in a previous Concord agreement.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they want to stop Andretti getting in this year is because the Concord agreement is going to be renegotiated between the teams, and they're going to put that price up dramatically, maybe 3 times to 600 million, it's alleged, or even more. And so then if they wait 1 year for Andretti to get in, then they'll make themselves an extra 400 million between the teams as a dilution price, as a dilution solution. So that's the real reason that the teams don't want to let Andretti in right now, because they don't. The top teams don't care, right? That it's not going to affect them particularly, and they've got enough money anyway not to have to worry about 10 million here or there. It's only the bottom teams that are really quite concerned about this, that it could actually force maybe 1 or 2 of them out of business. And it's not that they'll force them out of business, but they would have to sell, and they would sell at a profit, mind you. But they don't. They want to stay in for longer because the cost of the teams is skyrocketing right now.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Fabio.
and also let me point out one other problem is that if another team gets in, all the teams are going to be devalued. They're going to be worth less because now you've got 10 teams in F1, right? So if you want to, if Audi wants to get in F1, so he has got to go to Sauber and give him money, and Sauber is worth something because there is only 10 teams in F1. If there is 11 teams, it's going to be worth less.
That is true. That is true. So Bub says, I want Andretti to join because Verstappen can then go from 22nd place to first place in a race, getting up there with John Watson.
That is fucking brilliant. Good job, Bob Elvis. Okay, can we go to the quiz or myth or quiz?
Yeah, we're just coming up to. Would you like to sing it in for us, Fabio?
What?
Before you do, Lucky, did you have anything else you wanted to say on the race or anything Formula One related before we get to the quiz and myth?
I don't think I'm not going to agree that it would devalue the rest of the teams. I'm not sure that's the case, but it doesn't really matter.
No, I think. Listen, it's really simple. Let's say I don't know. Do you smoke?
Of course.
Lucky. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say you got you don't have to smoke. You know, you want a cigarette, right? And there are 10 cigarettes there. And if you want one, say, yeah, I mean, okay, 10 cigarettes is going to be worth that much. If there is more cigarettes, they're going to be, of less value, each single cigarette.
Yeah, of course, that's the rationale. I agree with Lucky here that because the inflation or the price of the teams are going up, just because Formula One is becoming more in demand, more demand, a higher price, that actually they probably won't lose anything anyway. But nonetheless, the point remains the same, that 11 teams is more than 10 teams. Yeah. Therefore, there's a higher chance that you'll be able to get one if there are 11 teams on the grid. Lucky.
Let's go on to the quiz.
I'm trying to end it there because we don't need to say anything more about that really. It's just typical Formula One politics as far as I can see.
It's good to have a discussion though, because it's something that's going to keep raising its head. As long as Andretti is so desperate to get in, it's going to keep raising its head up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's already agreed that he will pay the 600 million, as far as I've heard. Yeah. And he doesn't have to. He could be saying 200 million and then sue them to try and get in anyway. But anyway, that's another point. Okay, if we can move.
He thinks he has a point to prove in Formula One. That's what I'm thinking. But that's another rabbit trail.
He's just looking at the amount of
money. Go with the
jingle.
I got stuff to do. Come on.
Okay, go ahead. You sing it for us, Fabio.
No, I don't. I'm not.
No, sorry. You sing it in. Come
on. Okay. So we're on to the last part of the show now, gentlemen. And it's a rather fond thing we've become very fond of, haven't we, Fabio?
Oh, yeah.
It's quiz or myth. So I'm going to press the button now. Is it a quiz? Is it a myth? Is it a quiz or a myth? Is it a quiz and a myth? No, it's a quiz and a myth or a myth. Quiz and a myth.
Okay, should I go with the quiz?
Quiz today. Really easy quiz. Simple. I'm going to give you the names of 5 tracks. All current Formula One tracks. But there's an odd one out.
What? There is one what?
There's an odd one out of the 5 tracks. Okay? Are you with me? You've got this? 5 tracks. An odd one tracks.
Out. Yeah, go. Okay, yeah.
I want to know the odd one out, and you need to tell me why it's the odd one out.
Okay.
You can't just shout out a name. I need to get the name of the track and why it's the odd one out.
Odd one out. Got it.
In no particular order, here's the tracks: Red Bull Ring, Monaco, Suzuka.
Okay, stop.
Imola.
Oh,
and Silverstone.
And Silverstone. Silverstone is the odd one out because all the others haven't changed.
No.
Since their opening. Okay.
And Silverstone has changed.
Thank you very much. Okay.
There you go.
So that's
Not so smart this week, are you? Huh?
it's Silverstone. I said, yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not Silverstone. Okay.
No.
Over to you, Fabio.
Yeah, can you repeat? So it was Red Bull, Monaco, Silverstone,
Red Bull, Monaco,
Imola.
Silverstone, Suzuka, and Imola. I'll give you see what he says.
I think it's Monaco because it's not owned by anybody.
No, but that's actually a really good guess. I'm impressed. I
Yeah,
might give you an extra point for that.
there you
But
go.
then again, maybe not. Okay.
Oh, Bub says Suzuka because it has a crossing.
No, but that's also a good.
There you go. I mean, your quiz is
But it's
shit.
wrong.
We already gave you
Can we
two
just get the
very
answer?
good answers. Yeah.
Can we just get the answer, please? And
Can
the
we get
answer
the-
is
Okay, well, just
we don't want warnings. We don't want anything. Just
Yeah.
give us the answer.
Give the
please.
answer.
use your imagination, and you will know the answer to this.
Oh, we've already both given an answer. It's wrong. Please, just tell us what it is.
Well, I mean, Monaco is not a permanent circuit, you know.
That's also a good answer.
I know. I
And
already
also
gave you,
wrong.
I
And
I
also
already
wrong.
gave you two good answers. So your answer better be really, really, really good, okay? Because between me and Bob Elvis, we already gave you three good answers.
It's
Okay, is it Monaco because all of the others are recent tracks? They're all 80s later and later.
Well,
No.
Okay.
No, that's
Well,
a shitty answer.
Silverstone isn't
That's
anyway, I suppose. But in its current form, is what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Okay. So, and the answer is
And the answer is?
the answer is Imola. Are you gonna have a guess why, or did you just
No.
want me to tell you?
well, no. Just,
No, we want
just
you
give us
to
the
tell
answer.
us.
Okay, Silverstone, Suzuka, Monaco, Red Bull Ring are clockwise tracks. Imola is an anti-clockwise track. It was
There
as
we
simple
go.
as that.
I thought Suzuka clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. Which one's Imola's anti-clockwise? You say?
Yep.
Is it though?
Yes.
Oh, I suppose it is. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Use your imagination. Sit in the car
Yeah.
at the start of the race
Yeah.
and think about
okay.
where you're going.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll see
Okay,
that
yeah,
Imola's the
Imola's
only one.
anti-clockwise,
It's an anti-clockwise.
Okay,
track.
so
yeah, good one,
I
good
got
There's
a
no
really.
point.
Well, what do you mean no points? I mean, me and Bob Elvis gave two good answers.
Yeah, we weren't
I also
talking
gave a
right
good answer. I think I'll have you know.
Well, no, you give a shitty answer.
No,
you
I
know.
gave a good answer.
Well,
Good
Still
answer,
the
like
original
German
circuits.
Merc guy.
you gave
That was
an
a good
answer.
answer.
I
German
gave a
Merc
good
guy.
answer.
You gave an answer.
Yes, but Silverstone has been redesigned. All the others haven't. Maybe a
Well,
few
actually,
slight corners.
actually,
Yeah, Red
Imola
Bull.
Imola has been redesigned.
Well, yeah, but
Monaco has been redesigned.
Yeah, they've all
well,
been-
So-
yeah, but slightly.
Well,
Slightly.
slightly.
Not
I mean,
like a whole new section added in.
well, Imola. I mean, they took away a corner.
Well, they had
So-
to. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
You might
so-
actually, Suzuka might be an unaltered track, actually.
They're pretty
Anyway,
much-
I've got my quiz. It's gonna be super
Okay.
fast. So there
no.
is a known commentator, and I want you guys to tell me the commentator, which has been pining about a particular driver forever, and he missed to mention the first time that driver got points. Who is the commentator and who is the driver?
Is it David something or another?
No,
I don't know his name.
no,
Is it Martin Brundle?
no.
Okay. I
I
have
won't
no
tell you.
idea. I
Well,
didn't
listen,
even listen to the question. So
So
There you
the
go.
question is, there is a commentator which has been pining forever about a particular driver, And when that driver got his first points, he totally forgot to mention that.
Right. Okay. So it's going to be Sergeant Logan.
Yeah.
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 And
And
who's been
commentator.
pining about him?
I don't know. I mean, there's three of us. So,
Oh, right. Okay. I see.
so Lucky Wolfin has been busting our balls like forever with the performances of Logan Sargent. You know, it is more than disappointing fucking career. And last race he actually managed to get 1 point. Guess
Yeah?
who never mentioned that? Lucky fucking Wolfie, which has
I
been
think
busting our balls like forever with that driver, and he failed to mention that. And
I
I've
think
been
he-
I've been waiting 2 weeks for that because I said, oh, maybe he's gonna write something in the comments, and he didn't. And I've been waiting the whole show now to say, oh, maybe he's gonna say, oh, you know what? I forget about Sajjan getting his first point ever in Formula One, and he didn't. So yeah, there is that.
Okay.
all I can say is go back and watch the show in which I did talk about his first point and how
You-
the first point 30 years.
You didn't. So
Okay, well, we will have to. We will see. This will be an ongoing thing till next week, because I'm sure Lucky will go back and check and actually give us a timestamp, because I think he did as well. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, so for my the last bit of the show, last bit of the show. Okay, this is a technical question on Formula One drivers. Which Formula One driver, okay, has had the longest period in a top running team, okay, where he has failed to perform against his erstwhile driving partner in that team, from a country which is south of North America, who rhymes with the name Rectum Bulles. Okay, I'm going to leave it out there because
Yeah.
it's a tricky question.
yeah.
Yeah, South North American driver, yeah.
No, south of North America. It comes from the south of
South
North
of
America.
North America, right.
Yeah.
But he's not an American, South American.
Well, he could be. Could be. I mean, nobody really knows where
No.
he's from exactly,
No.
because they've never nailed it down
He's
precisely
definitely
whether he's from
Canadian.
North America or is he from South America or somewhere in between.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Rectum Bulles, the name rhymes with. No, okay, well, we're going to let that one go. Thank you
And
very
Yeah.
you're
much.
wondering, and you're wondering, that's a 1977 Wolf Formula One car in my
Yes.
avatar today.
Indeed, it is. I was going to say probably driven by who?
Hunt?
Hunt. There you
Hunt,
go.
maybe Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. Which British driver rhymes with?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I
Mike-
should have
Mike
actually
Hunt.
had it ready to go there, but
Yeah.
there we are. Okay, look, thanks everybody. Thank you very much, Lucky. Thank you very
Oh,
much,
Paul,
Fabio. And we
I'm
will
so-
see everybody.
I'm sorry. Before you go, I mean, poor
Okay.
Barrichello. I mean, come on, Babelvis. He doesn't deserve that.
Sorry, what was the
he mentioned.
Barrichello?
Yeah, come on.
If any of the viewers were,
Oh my goodness!
If any-
Thank you, Bob. That's great. We will see everybody next week when we are in South America proper. Helmut Marco has got no excuses next week, so there we are. And thank you, Lucky. Thank you, Fabio. And we'll see you then. So yeah, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
great night, guys. See you later.
Ciao, ciao.